Now even women. Women are
Do you think that if you were to go back to Vietnam, do you think you would be able to? Do you think, how do you think you would react?
Yes, I would. I've actually thought of that. And I would like my whole family to go. So I could do it. And I would do it. I've thought of that. People do that. People still go back. That would be interesting. You know, I do something, Hannah knows this, my kids know this. When I meet a Vietnamese person, I'm very uncomfortable. Someone your age or your parents' age. And when I meet somebody like your guys' age, let's just say this. If I meet somebody who may have a relative that's about my age, give or take, I always ask, what does your dad do? Because I want to hear that their dad is alive. That's a terrible feeling. I don't want to think I killed him. So I do that. I always ask, what does your dad do? What's your uncle do? What about your grandpa? They live here? How long have they been here? And I want to hear that they've been there I want to hear that they're all alive. You ever see the really touchy movie, what was it called? Letters from, not Iwo Jima, that was a movie too. There was, a guy had killed another soldier in Vietnam, and he took from the dead soldier a picture, and he went back 40 years later, met that family. That's tough. Yeah, I thought about going back. Don't know that I ever will. I might. You never know about me. Hope it wasn't too boring for you.
You have about 10 minutes left, but...
Okay.
Yes.
Well, you asked about experiences there too. I'll tell you some stuff that I did. GIs would go into town to get laid. Okay. And they always wanted me to go with them. And I always went. Not just because I was a pervert, but I would... When they were out there having sex with a prostitute, other Vietnamese would jump them. And they would either mug them or try to kill them. Viet Cong was everywhere. Everywhere. So I would go, and I'd be like right outside the door, but the door would be open, but I'd be facing this way, and I'd watch, make sure nobody jumped our GIs when they were having sex. And everybody said, let's take a rare, because I didn't drink. I don't drink. Didn't drink then, and don't now. And they said, let's take a rare, I was a fighter, and I was boxing and all this stuff, martial arts and everything. Carried a big knife, I laugh at that. Then another funny time, I was in the showers with when we were in the rear. Oh, this was when I was in the mortar platoon. Oh, by the way, I was in the mortar platoon for a while. That's right. I wasn't always in the infantry. But I was in the showers with a bunch of guys, and everybody knew that Sergeant Joe had syphilis. Everybody knew. He never used protection when he went downtown, and he did have syphilis. Everybody knew. So one day we're in the shower, and I'm all lathered up, and I reached over, and I don't know why I would grab a washcloth. I don't normally use a washcloth, but I did. And I grabbed it, and I started washing myself, and I rinsed off, and I put it back, and Sergeant Joe's looking at me. He says, that's my washcloth, And I went to the medics. I said, oh my God, I used Sergeant Joe's washcloth. What am I going to do? They said, oh, you can't get it that way, and this and that. I go, oh my God, but I mean, I used it. But I don't think I brought anything back. That was funny. It wasn't funny. I was scared to death because I had a wife, you know, and a child I hadn't seen, and then, oh God, that was terrible. Sergeant Joe, son of a bitch. And he was an alcoholic, and he was always drunk. And we'd go on maneuvers. We'd get called in the middle of the night, and we'd take off. We'd put us in helicopters, and fly us out to go do combat. And he'd be just bombed. And he performed like a champ every single time. Every single time. Never had to worry about him, even though he's drunk. And guys would be getting stoned, marijuana all the time. Some guys. I never saw a lot of it, just enough of it. And same thing. I'd be in firefights, you know, who were trying to kill us, and we're trying to kill them, and these guys would be stoned, and we'd be hit, you know, we'd get attacked, and they performed like they were completely sober. So when I came back and everybody was against pot, I thought it didn't bother me because, gee, these guys, they saved my life, you know. Some guys get raped. Some American GIs get raped by other GIs. I had some sergeants one time attack a guy that was with me. They wanted to rape him. I fought them. I had a big old knife. Bought it in Hawaii when I met my wife in Hawaii. I snuck it home, snuck it to Vietnam with me. I have a picture of it. So I said, war is what it is. Rules change. There are no rules. What other funny things were there? I guess there were some times. And then some of these people that I still talk to, it's interesting to talk to them. A lot of them are dead. I had this one duty one time to tear down me and about, I don't know, 7 or 8 other guys. Tore down this tower right behind where everybody was sleeping. So we tore it down. I think it took us a couple of weeks. We tore it down. We scrapped it. And later found out it had radioactive material in the base of it. We didn't know that. Most of them I think are dead, if not all of them. I'm the only one that's not. Tracy told me the other guys were dead. Cancer. And I had a colon cancer scare a few years ago. And I didn't have it. It was on its way. They fixed it. See, they knew. And I always wonder why none of the officers were around, and none of the drill sergeants, none of the sergeants, they weren't drill sergeants, none of the sergeants were there. They would say, go tear that down. We'll be over here. We did it because it was duty. It wasn't being out in the field. I'll tell you something funny. We'd have outhouses in the rear when we go back. And it was called a shit detail, shit burning detail. And your job was to, in the outhouses, on the outside, they had openings, and so they had 55-gallon drums. And they cut them about this tall. And that was where you pooped and urinated. Mostly pooped. You know, I never used to use that word until I met these guys. So your job was to raise up that back door on the back of the outhouse, and it had a hook on it, and all the barrels had little handles on them. You'd hook it with a hook, and you'd pull it out, and you'd fill it full of diesel fuel, and you'd burn it. Well, it took all day, because diesel fuel burned slowly. And everybody goes, geez, you got shit details, shit burning detail, oh, nobody want to do it, nobody want to do it. And I go, what's your other option? Your other option is to go in the field, and a third of you aren't coming back. So I'll take the shit burning detail. You know, I volunteered when I could, but pretty soon people figured that out too. You know, that was a funny thing. What the heck? It wasn't fun, but it wasn't going to kill you. It wasn't going to shoot you. You know, they were okay times. Didn't want to give you a lot of blood and gore. Wouldn't even know if I could. There was a lot of it.